guys, we have a new fluid warmer on the unit. It's called the Ranger fluid warmer. So we're just going to take a few minutes to show you how to set it up and just a couple of points to remember while you're using the warmer. These will be kept, we have 2 on the unit. They're going to be kept in the 1, 2, 3, 4 storage room. Other units do not have units assigned to them, so they may ask to borrow ours. So just be aware of that. If another ICU asks to borrow our fluid warmer, they are not assigned to every ICU. So first thing to know about this unit, it must be plugged in to use it. There is no battery reserve on it. If you unplug it, it will turn off. It is a small unit, so super easy to carry and use and hook up. There is a small on-off switch over here underneath this little bubble trap. If you flip that on, once it's plugged in, your fluid warmer is turned on and ready to go. It is automatically set to 41 degrees Celsius, so once you turn it on, you'll see the temperature on the front, but you cannot regulate anything about that. The machine itself is going to get itself to 41 degrees and maintain it 41 degrees. It does self-check internally every 4 times a second to make sure that the temperature is correct. I think that is the basics of it. And we'll go ahead and go through a quick demo so you can kind of see how it's done. I am going to verbally walk Keisha through how to get this set up. Okay, so we're going to start with inserting the cassette. These cassettes are going to be stocked in the swipe room. We'll do a par level of about 5 for now and see if that's enough. It does all come self-contained. You just need the warmer and the cassette to be able to use this. The cassette takes approximately 40 mLs of fluid to fill just this part. To get it to fill all the way down, it was almost close to 50 or 60 cc's to get that entirely primed. And just so you know, the fluid rate on this, you can run this machine through your Alaris pump at KVO, or it can run up to and as fast as 9 liters an hour. So we shouldn't have any concerns about it keeping up with the Alaris pump. So first thing to do, the cassette has to be empty to be able to use it. Make sure when you pull out your cassette, the logo is facing up and it is empty. It will then slide into the front of the machine. Make sure it's empty. It gets empty going in and empty coming out. Once you do have that slid into the machine, you can prime the cassette. When you prime the cassette, it kind of inflates like a float or a balloon. So that's what makes it impossible to insert it or pull it out when it is not empty. You insert the cassette all the way until you meet resistance. You will notice there is a blue cap for cool fluids, which connects to your fluid going in. Before you connect, make sure that your clamp is closed. And once connected, open the clamp and the fluid will start priming through the cassette. So you're going to have to stand here patiently for a few minutes. When we were doing a run through on this, we realized that maybe it's going to be best served to start priming your cassette and getting everything ready before the patient arrives on the unit. So if you know in report that they need warmed fluids, go ahead and get your cassette primed and ready to go for the patient. When the fluid primes through, you'll see it coming towards the bubble trap that Keisha's holding onto there. When your fluid does get that far, you're going to invert the bubble trap and completely fill the chamber. When the chamber is completely full, you'll turn it upright and place it into the holder, and then continue to prime to the end. So I should have prepared a couple of jokes to tell right now while we're waiting for this to fill. But a couple of other things they did tell me about this machine. It will self-regulate to 41 degrees. If there is fluid inside of it, it may go up and down a little bit, but it will self-regulate. If you turn the machine on and you do not have a cassette in it, it may overheat, in which case it'll alarm for you, and you would just need to turn it off for about 30 seconds to a minute and then turn it on. As you can see, the fluid is starting to fill up. Keisha has inverted the chamber so that she can go ahead and fill that up all the way. almost there. Like watching water boil on the stove. So once the chamber is filled, she's going to go ahead and flip it over and put it into the chamber holder right there next to the cassette. And then you can go ahead and continue to prime down to the end. Once it primes all the way down to the end, you'll see that the cap on the end of the tubing is red for heated fluids. This is going to go ahead and plug into your patient's IV or central line so that the fluids can go ahead and start infusing into the patient. So that is the setup of the Ranger warmer. And what we'll just talk about really quickly here is when the infusion is done, remember that you must empty fluid out of this cassette to be able to pull it out. If you attempt to pull it out with fluid inside, it will not come out. If you get aggressive with it and yank on it, you could pop the cassette and the fluid's just going to go everywhere. So what you need to do to be able to remove the cassette is to let out a little bit of fluid. You're going to clamp your blue clamp, and then you're going to let a little bit of fluid come out. They say approximately 2 to 3 mLs is what needs to come out before you'll be able to gently remove the cassette from the Ranger. Do we have enough on it?
No, thank you.
So I've attempted to pull a little bit and it has not released, so we're going to let it a little bit more fluid out. And now this was able to pull out. For how long this can be used, you can use these cassettes as long as you would use any hospital tubing. So once it is expired, you need a new cassette and just change out all the tubing. You can also use this fluid warmer to administer blood. So you can give some heated blood through this. It's the same setup process and the same tubing rules that you would use for administering blood. So that's a quick overview of how to use the Ranger. If you have any questions, definitely let us know, but hopefully this was helpful if you need to get this set up and it's been a while since you've used it.